From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network, Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for November 15th, 2016. I'm Jordan Elston.
And I'm Sarah Singletary. Thank you for joining us this evening. Homecoming week is a fun time for Troy students. However, among all the activities, there was a fundraising element that ended up helping out students and teachers at the local Head Start. Sarah Jones explains.
On Tuesday, the Homecoming Committee presented Head Start, a local preschool in Troy, with a $1,500 check. This money was raised by students at Troy University during Homecoming week in October. Head Start Director Harriet Bernarda McFarland was astounded by the support from the university.
I never knew that there was any group or organization at Troy University that cared so much about the children and families in Troy and Pike County. So I'm very excited about that. And I want to thank the SGA and the Homecoming Committee for their generous donation.
Though the staff at Head Start does not have an exact plan for how the money will be used, McFarland says that ultimately the children's learning experience and safety comes first.
Anytime we receive in-kind donations, we look for ways to enhance the program that we currently have. So it could go towards playground equipment, it may go to another computer, may go to a camera system so the children are safe at all times and we'll be able to monitor them.
SGA Vice President of Campus Activities, Sam Moody, helped organize this fundraiser and wanted the children in the community to benefit.
We wanted it to ultimately come down to serving Pike County, and one major need that Pike County has is its children. And we found this as a great way to give back to the community. It was a relationship that our president, Olivia Milton, had already established her freshman year through Backpack for Kids. So it was just a really easy way to kind of give back to Pike County, and one that we had already kind of established. Head
Start is located behind Sorority Hill. Sarah Jones, Troy TrojanVision News.
Once again, Homecoming week activities raised $1,500 for Head Start.
Veterans and their families brought their inner artists to the canvas in this month's Veterans Voices exhibition. Ryan Renfro has more from our Montgomery News Bureau.
We also want to thank Maxwell Everett.
Veterans Voices is a collaborative art project held in the Rosa Parks Museum, a project that showcases art from local veterans and is aimed at thanking veterans for their service.
We really wanted to highlight veterans in this, and also what Rosa Parks did back in the 1950s was a form of patriotism as well.
Burkhart says volunteers for Veterans Voices didn't have to be trained artists to participate.
The only requirement was that they were a veteran or they knew someone who was a veteran, and in some way could either do a work in honor of that veteran or in memory of them.
I'm here standing inside the Veterans Voices exhibition, and if you look here to my right, you'll see a piece titled Operation Red Wing from Montgomery resident and veteran Artigas Felder. Now looking at this piece, you'll see 8 bullet holes spread across the entire piece. Now each bullet hole represents the 8 Navy SEALs and the 8 Night Stalkers who were sent out to look for Marcus Luttrell after Operation Red Wing.
And these men died in their search for Luttrell when a rocket-propelled grenade brought down their helicopter. But through the artwork in Veterans Voices, their memory lives on.
He knew what he was doing. He was very creative with it. He really wanted to show something on there and tell a story on his canvas.
One Montgomery artist who helped the volunteers with their work explains how art is therapeutic.
You're focusing right there at that moment, wanting the brushstroke or the nail or the material to be what you feel.
Burkhart says the Rosa Parks Museum is a safe space, a space she believes locals can come to for anything. Ryan Renfro, Troy, TrojanVision News.
This exhibition concludes the Veterans Voices series. The Claudia Crosby Theater was filled with music from Troy University's Symphony Band Sunday afternoon.
Nathaniel Rodriguez has the sights and sounds from Sunday's concert.
The Troy University Symphony Band performed their second concert of the semester Sunday afternoon in Claudia Crosby Theater. The concert featured works from the past 100 years, ranging from Premier Rhapsody by Claude Debussy to Rift and Wed, a work taken from the 5th Elder Scrolls game, Skyrim. In addition to these pieces was the world premiere of Lightning Hammer, a piece composed by Tyler Arcari, a Troy alumnus.
Well, Tyler is like I said, is an alum of Troy University, and he was in the Sound of the South Band program. And he wrote this piece for us and offered it to us as a world premiere, and so we took it and rehearsed it and performed it.
Walker said he was pleased by the effort put in by the students.
They have a tremendous work ethic, and they are emerging and developing artists, and so they perform at that level, and they work really, really hard. And so the nice thing is that every year I kind of decide on some objectives that we need to work on, and they've been meeting that every single time.
Marissa Stanfield, the clarinet soloist featured on Premier Rhapsody, said she was particularly impressed with how the band played the Debussy piece.
There's a lot of nuances and really exposed musical things that the symphony band, I think, isn't used to, and we really pulled it together and just played so musically, and I'm so proud to have soloed with them, and I think it was a great performance.
And while the concert may be over, this is not the last performance for the Symphony Band this semester. They still have one more to go.
Well, we have our Sounds of the Season concert where we perform Christmas music along with our colleagues and friends in the College of Communication and Fine Arts. The choir, the jazz band, the dancers, theater, everybody's going to be in that concert.
The Sounds of the Season concert is on December 1st at 8 p.m. Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Once again, the Symphony Band will return to the stage for the Sounds of the Season concert next month.
Now, the latest in Trojan Sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Good evening, Trojan fans, and welcome into another edition of Trojan Sports. It hasn't rained in the city of Troy for quite some time now, but if you've been inside Trojan Arena lately, namely the last 2 nights the men's basketball team has been there, it's been pouring points and W's. The men picked up their second win of the season last night against Eastern Illinois. Jalen Bivens has the highlights.
The Trojan men's basketball team hosted the Eastern Illinois Panthers Monday night. Jordan Renato led the Trojans to victory with 22 points.
Our coaches had a great game plan. Get deep paint catches in the paint, and I was just finishing over top of everybody. So it was just good strategy for the coaches and just good game plan.
Though the Trojans won the game, the team struggled with free throws all night.
They made their free throws, and we struggled. And that's something that we've worked on more than me personally as a coach. Any team I've ever been around, we spent more time working on free throws, and we really shot the ball well in the entire preseason. And then tonight we came out, and we started missing. And you kind of in your mind, you're going, okay, this is, this was our problem last year, but fortunately we made enough to win the game.
Renato hit the game-winning shot to help give the Trojans a 70-67 victory over the Panthers.
I always felt good because at the end I was struggling a little bit, so Coach called my number and I just delivered, so it felt good to hit the game-winning shot.
Coach Cunningham had a lot of confidence in Renato taking the game-winning shot.
I feel like he was going to go in because he's really a good outside shooter that people don't know that about him. I mean, he can shoot the ball, and he was in a good rhythm from the perimeter tonight too. And he's, most guys are like that, and he was feeling it all night from outside, and that's what he's got to be for us. He's got to be a go-to guy for us.
Jalen Bivens, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
Yes, and it was last night's game that showed just how much better of a team head coach Bill Cunningham thinks he has this year. In games decided by 6 points or less last season, the Trojans were 3-10.
Last year, in situations like that, we would have found a way to lose the game, But so with the additions that we've put to this team and the experience and the talent, we found a way to fight through those type games like we did last night, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
Wesley Person's streak of 61 consecutive games with a three-pointer was snapped last night as he went 0 for 2 from three-point land. But he will look to start a new streak Thursday night when the Trojans travel to Birmingham to take on UAB at 7 p.m. And raise your hand if you like 12 p.m. basketball games. Just me? Okay, that's fine, but the women's basketball team will open their home slate tomorrow against Belmont after what Coach Rigby calls a, quote, great experience, close quote, and referring to Auburn's matchup over the weekend. Tomorrow's game presents a great experience in itself.
Tomorrow we're expecting over 500 kids to be in Trojan Arena. It's free to the elementary schools. It's our drink up game where we educate throughout the game about the importance of hydration and exercise, and the cheerleaders are doing all kind of things with them at halftime. So we're trying to flood the arena with young school age kids who can become young Trojan fans.
Wednesday matinee. Students, if you're out of class around that time, walk on over to Trojan Arena and support the Trojans, who tip off at noon against Belmont. And for the first time all season, the men's cross-country team raced a 10K. The men concluded their 2016 season on Friday at the NCAA South Regionals in Tallahassee. The Trojans had 3 runners compete. Sophomore Bradley Dixon, who was the top finisher for the Trojans with a 100th place finish. Following closely behind were sophomores Brennan Garrix in 126th place and Daniel Glick at 150th place. Congrats to those 3 Trojans and the rest of the men and women from the cross-country teams on a fine season.